still fighting to this day, to this day.
Cause of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work, hard work.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day, to this day.
Cause of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work, hard work.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day, to this day. To this day, to this day. Fighting 400 and still fighting to this day, to this day.
Cause of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work, hard work.
Fighting 400 and still fighting to this day, to this day.
Cause of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work, hard work.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day, to this day.
Mic check, mic check. What up? What's going on, fight fans, gym boxing family? It's your boy Get a Mic, man. Appreciate everybody for checking in to the live stream. Much love, peace, and blessings to all the brothers and sisters that came through the stream, man. Make sure y'all give this live stream a thumbs up, man. We got a lot to talk about today. Gerald Roberts, if you in the building, much love. Yes, sir. Tim B, I see you. John Kramer, I see you too, man. Salute. Donald Brown, what's going on? Mr. De Niro, as always, what's going on, my brother? Wallace Brown, if you still in the building, I see you, man. Yeah, man, it's fight week. It's fight week. It's fight week. Super hype. Can't wait. It's going down. It's going down like a plane crash. Y'all Hulk smash that thumbs up on the way into the live stream, man. Anyway, there's been some stuff going on in boxing, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. I'm gonna talk about a few things today. Before we get into Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, that's usually what we finish up the live stream, and that we're gonna go for hours on that. But we want to get into I want to get into a little bit of he says, what round? Get a mic, call it, my brother. What's going on, Jacob Jennings? Texas is tuning in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think the fight going 12, man, to tell you the truth. I think it is, but I don't know. I'm still in the middle of my film study. I was doing some film study today, and we're going to get into probably some more film study as well, man. But still not sure exactly who I'm going to pick completely just yet, but we're going to talk about it. But before I even get like too deep into that, I kind of want to give my thoughts and kind of address this whole Gary Russell situation and kind of talk about that a little bit, man. I don't know if y'all privy to what happened and the whole Leo Santa Cruz situation. Joseph Clark, I see you in the building. New York in the house, Jamaica, Queens. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to you. But I kind of want to talk about that Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell situation, man. I thought that was pretty cool, man. It was a lot of stuff a lot of ways you can look at that. A lot of people got pissed off about, the fact how he put his hand around dude dad like that. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me properly? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Yeah, I think you can hear me. All right, so, but anyway, man, as you can tell, Gary Russell Jr. is extremely frustrated with the sport of boxing, man. He's extremely frustrated with these guys ducking him. He can't seem to get the fights that he wants. He's been calling out Leo Santa Cruz for so long, man. And Leo Santa Cruz has just been getting away with some ducking, man, for real. I mean, he just been getting away with it. And you can tell that Gary Russell is just frustrated, man. I know the guy Fred from Barbershop, I think he had an interview with him as well. Pretty good interview to really get an insight on what Gary Russell Jr. was talking about. But also I seen on Fight Hype where he kind of readdressed the whole situation, man. But with that whole situation going down with him really calling out Leo Santa Cruz and basically going in there checking his dad. I mean, a lot of people got mad. A lot of people got pissed off about that situation and said it was foul. He shouldn't have did that. It was just wrong. And he kind of took it kind of away from boxing a little bit. Kind of went into like a little bit of a street mode or whatever. But it's getting kind of sad that although a lot of people disagree with that, I mean, it's kind of bad how it has to actually lead to this point for Gary Russell to even get considered to fight this man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a sad case when I got to go put my arm around your dad, to get you to even acknowledge that I even exist when we both champions. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, come on, man. This man got the WBC belt. That's supposed to be the most prestigious belt. That's supposed to be the belt that all the Mexicans have. Isn't Leo Santa Cruz Mexican? If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he is. Unless he's not no more for some reason. But that's supposed to be the green belt. That's supposed to be the prestigious belt. And I don't know why nobody want to go and challenge for it. I don't understand what's the freezing out going on. I can't understand it. Ernest Jones up in the building. Much love to you, my brother. Appreciate you for coming through. Wrench gang. But it's just funny to me, man. Like, and then they get all pissed off. He says Gary Russell went straight Clubber Lang. Oh man, and he said, man, he like Leo Santa Cruz, man. Why can't I never find you, bro? Why you don't never show up, dog? What's going on? What's the problem, bro? You know what I'm saying? Why can I see your dad? I can find your dad. You know what I'm saying? But I can't find you. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with that, fam? Like, it just don't make any sense. And you can tell that he was specifically doing that to ruffle Leo Santa Cruz feathers, and to make a headline. You can tell he was trying to do that, where it's like, hey, I see an opportunity. This could be my opportunity to really make something big happen with this, so this man can finally step up, grow some cojones, and finally step in the ring, man, and want to throw hands, man. But he supposedly came out with some sort of statement on that whole situation, and I didn't hear exactly what it was because I've been busy, but I heard he ain't really put no smoke out there. He took the high road and took it easy, and said basically my dad didn't really know who he was or something. He says it would have been cool if his dad wasn't dealing with cancer. I mean, I understand that too, but it's like, to me, cancer or not, it was very obvious the first time I saw it what he was doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just for me being a spectator. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure if I'm Leo Santa Cruz, I'm in one of those situations where I'm ready to throw down. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to come find this man right where he stand, and try to mix it up and put hands on him. But as a spectator, as a boxing fan, okay, I don't know, like, if y'all boxing fans understand the sport of boxing, how it's always been a lot of trash talking, a lot of shit talking and stuff like that. But for me, I totally understood what I was looking at when I saw that. It's like, damn, we know Leo Santa Cruz been ducking for so long. We know he keeps saying he want that work, not only from him, but from Tank Davis and also other fighters as well. So he said, yeah, bro, his pop's dealing with cancer, bro. If it were me, it would have been strap season for reals, and I ain't talking about no belts. Yeah, I agree with you saying. But the only point that I'm making is that it was super, super obvious that the man, he wasn't trying to harm the man's father, bro. Come on, man. Like, it's super obvious. I mean, I understand people, get upset about certain stuff like that. We live in a social media age where everything is publicized and you can pretty much, have an opinion on stuff like that. But, for me as a boxing fan, I'm only speaking from a fan perspective. I know Gary Russell is a good boxer, fast, some of the fastest hands in the game. He want to fight the best. Let's just say, for instance, there was some random guy went up and did that to Leo Santa Cruz dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just some random guy on the street said, hey, Leo Santa Cruz, what's good? I got my hand around your dad. What you gonna do? Then I would have been like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, then I would have kind of took it serious. But I understand that he would, as much as he was talking shit to Leo Santa Cruz, like saying, I could have got your dad back there. I could have put him in the L. Like, bro, we know damn well this man didn't show no disrespect towards the man's father, bro. Everything to me, what I saw with my own eyes, was that he was being respectful as he was next to his dad. He walked up to him. He put his arm around. Everything was friendly with him and his dad. The only shit talking was going on the phone. He was like this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He was cool with his dad. I like your chains. Those nice, blah, blah. He was messing with him. Obviously it's disrespectful, but I don't think it's to the level that a lot of people have made it seem. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he was being respectful to his pops. And then after the after he had another interview where he was basically addressing that, he cleared he cleared everything up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't mean no disrespect to the man dad, you know what I'm saying? I got mad respect for the man dad. But I just thought that was kind of funny, in my personal opinion, how you would expect more from Leo Santa Cruz after something like that. You know what I'm saying? I would have been like, yo, Al, hey, Al, man, hey, I need that fight today. Like, that's my next fight. You know what I'm saying? That's my next fight right now. Like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I would have been so heated, bro. But, it is what it is on that point. Seen and unseen boxing. I see you up in there, family. He says, Gym Boxing. What's the word, brother? Salute. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for your donation, man. I know you didn't have to do it, man, but I appreciate your support anyway. Gary Russell, he had an interview too. I think it was on the brother Fred, his channel, and he was basically saying, one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that he said he's getting extremely frustrated with how soft the sport of boxing is becoming. You know what I'm saying? And he was basically talking about how he thought in the sport of boxing, this was one of those gladiator type, come in here and lose your life type sports. You know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to be tough as hell, big cojones, you know what I'm saying? Everything is rough about the sport. And he said it's getting more increasingly like guys is tiptoeing around trying to make smart business decisions. You know what I'm saying? And he's just saying he's getting extremely frustrated with the shit. And he feels like he's a beast, and he's waiting to get into the wild, man, and put his hands on somebody. So I thought that was a pretty interesting interview. And, much love to that brother. I know he ain't mean no respect to the man. And shout out to the Mexicans out there, too, man, especially the ones that understood that he ain't mean no harm. I know he pissed off a lot of Mexicans, man. He said no Mexican restaurants for Gary Russell. Yeah, man. So I understand, man. I totally understand it. He says, I was okay with all of it. Oh, okay with all of it. He crossed the line when he said he can touch his pops and his pops can get it. Yeah, I mean it was a little rough. You know what I'm saying? It was a little rough. I'm not about to sit up here and really co-sign what the brother said or co-sign what he did. I'm just telling you from a fan perspective how I saw the whole video. You know, because I saw a whole bunch of people snapping about it before I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was snapping about it. I was like, well, let me go check out what everybody's talking about. And then when I checked it out, I was like, oh, okay. So that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. But for me, man, as a boxing fan, I like it. You know, I like it. You know, I don't think anybody should try to, do anything or hurt anybody's parents or do anything to anybody's parents. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it just kind of seemed to me a little bit like extreme trash talking. It was like it's trash talking to the very extreme where it was almost like a shot being thrown. I mean, when you really think about it, hasn't this drawn a lot of attention to Gary Russell over the last few days? You know, and maybe that's what he wanted. You know, what they would call that clout chasing nowadays. I don't really use that word, but it's a business. This is the entertainment business, and as long as he ain't, committing any crimes or trying to have intent to hurt anybody, I just feel like it's all glorified trash talking, and it's worthy of making some good fights happen in the future, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. If y'all just getting in the live stream, we're gonna have some Errol Spence and Shawn Porter talk here coming up here shortly on the show. We're gonna open up the phone lines for anybody that want to get in here and speak their piece. Yes, I got on the strap season shirt because I believe in strap season all across the board, whether it's Errol Spence, whether it's Shawn Porter, whether it's Deontay Wilder, whether it's the Charlos. It don't matter who it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got much love for all these brothers, and that goes for Shawn Porter as well, man. So we're gonna open up the lines a little bit later in the show, and y'all gonna chop it up with me. Hurricane Carter says Spence via 7th round KO cold is coming. Ooh, we said it's coming. It's gonna happen. Corey Parker, I don't think Tank want nothing to do with Gary for some reason. I don't know. I don't think so either. You know, Tank Davis to me, man, is just like he's one of those type of fighters that you want to get high hopes for. You want to really get excited about his talent, but you just can't because he's not necessarily gonna do what you want him to do as a fan. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a Speaking Mind Sports. I see you, D. I see you up in the building. Appreciate your support, bro, for coming through. We're gonna open up the phone lines a little bit later, man. And once we get into the Spence Porter talk, we just talking a little bit of Gary Russell right now, just seeing what's going on with that. But he says Gary could outbox Tank for 9 rounds and Tank can put him to sleep in the 10th. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. I like Gary Russell's style. I like his hand speed. I think he's a superb boxer. I don't necessarily know if he have enough power to really hurt Tank though, and that's one of the things. But see, my thing is this, if Tank is very for sure of himself and he really believes that he can do this kind of thing, why not whoop these guys up, man? What's taking so long? We already know he's about to fight Yuriorkis Gamboa next. You can pretty much, tell for sure that's what's going to happen next. It's going to be the Gamboa fight. You ain't even got to ask about that. But, why not just whoop these dudes up real quick? Get them up out of there. Show these dudes they can't hang with you, man, so you can really earn that pay-per-view title superstar that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? He says, Santa Cruz thinking, do you reward that behavior or ignore it? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, Santa Cruz, he's never the type of dude to really get confrontational like that. But, I'm only thinking from my standpoint, because I like, in that interview that Gary Russell was talking about, he kind of reminded me of myself a little bit, bro, because, sometimes, if stuff get to that level, yeah, like, if you in my face, I'm ready to bump. I'm ready to, what's good, you know what I'm saying? So, it wouldn't, to me, it's not, if I'm Leo Santa Cruz, I want that work. You know what I'm saying? John Creamer, I see you up in there. Billy Rose, what's going on? Yeah, so me personally, I want that work. If I see you talking about, hey, where you at? I'm pulling up on. Even I'm talking about, bro. To me, if I'm Leo Santa Cruz, this dude don't even get to my father because I would have already fought him. It wouldn't have been no ducking. I would have I would have already want that smoke since I kept hearing him call me out and say my name. I would have been ready to fight. So that's just my personality, though. You know, this is the sport of boxing, and it is what it is, man. He says doing some work on the site and listening, fam. Hey, appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Seen and unseen boxing says at this point we would just have to fight. But me being the man that I am the hunter, so I would have had Ben got this work. Yeah, exactly. See, it's funny that you said that, because that's exactly what I said before I read it. Yeah, man. I can't have no dude calling me out, talking too much junk too long without saying something, bro. I'm just not that type of dude, bro. Like, I'm ready to, bro, win, lose, or draw. You know what I'm saying? Win, lose, or draw, bro. I got too much dignity, bro. Like, you can't just be yapping at the mouth too long before I be ready to get it in. But that's how the sport of boxing is. That's how it should be. And we'll see what happens from here. But John Creamer says the uppercut and the step back straight left hand will be the key for Errol Spence Jr. Yeah, you got a point. You got a point. He says, Jim, think about how Shane made the fight with Floyd. Yeah. You got a point there, Ernest Jones. You definitely got a point there. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that got to happen in the sport of boxing, bro. It got to be some trash talking, some ill will, some calling out. It got to be all kinds of things going on in order to make this thing happen, man. But we can switch on over to some Errol Spence, man. I know y'all don't want to talk about this too much. It's time to get into why we really here. And it's time to talk this Errol Spence and Shawn Porter, man. I don't know exactly when they dropped this episode here, but I don't really know if I'm gonna be able to play any of it. But I might be able to shrink it down and play some, man. But it was a pretty good little episode. I dropped the a link in here if y'all want to go watch it. It's on Inside PPC Boxing, and you know it was pretty interesting. My boy Shawn Porter, he had on a pretty nice suit. You know what I'm saying? You know everybody hates Shawn and his suits, but he had on a pretty nice suit, and it was some interesting stuff being said, man. And one thing that I thought was kind of funny, right? One thing I thought was kind of funny. He says, I think win, lose, or draw, it's easy to say there's no money involved. That's why you have advisors. He said the buttons made the suit ugly. But anyway, no, I thought it was pretty sharp, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm never really I'm not really a big fan of Shawn Porter suits like everybody else is, to tell you the truth. But I gotta admit, I kind of liked that suit, you know. He said Barack Obama cheap suit, Shawn. It's fucking fight week, man. Hell yeah. I love it, man. I love it. Win, lose, or draw, man. Like I'm supporting both of these brothers. I got love for Shawn Porter. I got love for Errol Spence Jr. And you know, and it's funny too, because I didn't even know that Keith Thurman was in the building, bro. That's why I thought that was so weird. I'm like, bro, is that Keith? Like, I watched like half of the episode, didn't even realize Keith was sitting there, bro. Oh man, so, but anyway, I thought it was kind of funny how, what's the girl's name? I think her name is Kate. I forget her name. Kate. I forgot her last name. It's hard to pronounce. But she was basically saying, she asked Errol Spence. She says, if you didn't KO Mikey Garcia, what makes you think you're gonna KO Shawn? And it was one of those funny situations where it was just like Abner Morris was like, well, damn. He was like, well, damn, that's kind of a low blow, don't you think? And she was like, hey, I'm just saying, though. I mean, you didn't KO him. He said they was low-key roasted Spence. It was like, and Errol Spence was like, ha, like, he started laughing, like, oh, y'all got jokes and shit. Y'all co-signing. Okay. But for the most part, man, it was a pretty good little, pretty good little episode, man. I advise each and every one of y'all to go watch it. It's fight week, man. Get as hype as you can. They're showing this fight at AMC Theater near you. So if you can't squeeze out the $74.99 and you can't get that trip out to LA, feel free. Slide to the movies, get your popcorn, take your lady out, take your kids out. You're gonna spend $75 anyway if you go to the movies. You might as well just buy it and throw a party at the crib, because you're going to spend about $30, $40 on popcorn, maybe about $25 on a drink, maybe about $15, $16 on a hot dog. So you're going to spend a little money at the theater. But I thought that was kind of crazy how they was doing Errol Spence, man. And then you had Shawn Porter up there. Shawn Porter up there barking. He barking. See that? I don't know, man. That's why I like this whole build up to this fight. I feel like both of these fighters, they're not backing down from each other. They both believe that they in it. And we gonna open up them call lines for y'all too, man. Open up them call lines. 561-935. What is it? 5186. Y'all feel free to call in and speak your piece, man. But I think this whole build up to the fight to me is really interesting. It's extremely interesting, man. Both of these fighters are not gonna back down. They're not scared of each other, and I think we're gonna see that on September 28th. He says, I don't think Errol is ever going to admit he didn't train properly for the Mikey Garcia fight, but he did say something about that though. When it was the Mikey Garcia fight, he definitely was saying how he didn't really do sit-ups for this fight. He didn't really. You could just kind of tell Errol didn't really go in for that particular camp. But in this camp, I have to imagine he's coming in much more ready. I have to imagine. I seen a little bit of the fight camp today, not a lot of it, but Shawn Porter's dad, man, Kenny Porter, man. It's funny. A lot of people hate Kenny Porter. It's so many different reasons and funny ways to pick on this guy. From his hair to Kango hats to he trying to look like a pimp. It's so many ways you can get on this guy and get on this case. But man, I gotta admit, bro, I got a lot of love for Kenny Porter, bro. With all due respect and all games aside, I love the way Kenny Porter pushes his son, and you can tell sometimes that you can just really tell that he be getting under Shawn's skin, bro. Like he be getting under Shawn's skin, pissing him off, yelling at him. But I'm pretty sure a lot of that had to do for the camera too and for the episode, man. But their little relationship to me is just hilarious. And my lady be picking on Shawn Porter, saying Shawn Porter still get whippings, and he gonna whoop Shawn if Shawn don't win the fight. That joke's funny, man. So I want to hear from the Gym Boxing family, man. 561-935-5186. Who's gonna be my first caller? Let me know what it is. Come on in here and speak your piece, man. We got so much to talk about today. It's freaking fight week. It's gonna be lit, and I can't wait, man. He says Kenny Porter is a hater, bro. Great dad, but he's a hater. Yeah, man, he might be a hater, bro. He might just be, bro. I'm not even gonna sit up here and say he's not. But the funny part about it to me is that, you know what, bro? As a boxing fan, as a spectator, I don't really have to really care whether or not he is. And I think for me, what he does and what he stands for with his kid, man, to me, it means so much more than just a person might have something wrong with them or might have a small flaw with their personality. I feel like each and every one of us out here, including myself, we got stuff wrong with us. I have issues, y'all have issues, and what makes you think Kenny Porter don't have some issues, man? Neither one of us is perfect, and the fact that this man is in his kid's life to me just means so much. I think we got our first caller, man. So let's get it in. 804, what's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from? Welcome to the show.
What up, man? This is D. Justin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to shed some light on something.
Go ahead, do your thing.
So check it out. So just imagine this fight pretty even, right?
Uh-huh.
And you get into the 10th, 11th, and 12th round. Then at that point, it comes down to the trainers. You see what I mean?
Right.
I'm not confident in either of them.
You say you're not confident in either one of them, huh?
Either one of them. Think about it. What's Kenny Porter's claim to fame is Shawn Porter, right?
Right.
And Shawn Porter he's not a great boxer. But don't get me wrong. His style and the way he punches people, you know what I mean? That's effective. But his boxing skill, he's not a great boxer. And then Derrick James, a Trainer of the Year award, he still got to prove that to me. Because one of his fighters was good, but one of his fighters was horrible, man.
Who you talking about, Charlo?
Yeah, you know it. So both of these guys in question. So if you think about a fight like that and you get late in those rounds, it comes to the trainer.
Yeah. You got a point.
And I'm lacking confidence in either of them.
Right. So let me ask you, do you think there'll be a situation where this fight gets late into the fight where, like you said, it comes down to the trainers? Do you think it's going to have to be one of those situations where both of the guys are going to have to say, forget what my trainer is talking about, abandon the plan and go for what they know?
Well, that's the question. If that means that you're going to fight their trainers, they do the goddamn thing. They're going to have to figure it out. Nah, but I mean, that's the question. You know, you would like to think that they would rely on the trainer's advice and they'll be getting no good advice from the corner. They're paying attention to the fight, you know. But again, man, like, people talk about, well, Kenny fought train Errol Spence. Going into the Olympics or the championships, one of the nationals or some shit, right? So, my friend, but if you think about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he did train him going into it, he lost. Who did he train him to? I lost. I'm not trying to be funny, though, but you know that's not something you should brag about.
Right.
And again, like, if you look at Shawn Porter's skill set, think about it, bro. It's not like he's Lomachenko. This dude, he got issues. He just open, you know what I mean? He got issues.
Hey, so if you had to lean towards one trainer in this whole situation, that you had to say, you know what, I gotta lean towards one to get my fighter to push him to the end, who would you pick?
I would pick. I'm gonna tell you why. Now, I don't have confidence in either of them, but I would pick Kenny Porter because that's his son. And he got to know his son better than Derrick James knows Spence.
You got a good point.
So, in that situation, I would pick Kenny Porter.
Yeah, just from only that standpoint that he has that father-son advantage. Right. And I kind of talked about that too in one of my videos, man. I think, like I said, man, like I think the energy that Shawn Porter brings to the ring, I think a lot of that have to do with that family unit they got over there in the corner, man. Like they got that family unit. Even if Shawn is probably not the best boxer and he might suck at a lot of different areas, but man, they gonna come and push hard. And you see Kenny over there coaching his ass off.
That's fact.
He said, yeah, but he also wants to protect his son as well. Yeah, that's true, man. But what you was about to say, D?
No, that's it. I just wanted to drop some science on those trainers because, you know, that's just something everybody talking about the fighters. But that's the scenario. Let me say this too before I get off, folks, because I know somebody else wants to talk this. But listen, that's the scenario that's like far-fetched. That's not gonna happen.
Right.
He's gonna win this fight by at least 8 rounds or more. I could actually see Porter getting 4 rounds. I could see Porter getting 3 rounds early, like the first 5 rounds. Then Spence adjusting. He might steal a round in between. I could see him getting 4 rounds.
Yeah.
But just a unanimous decision, Spence. And Porter's not gonna win on the card, but he's gotta knock Spence out or drop him a couple of times to win on the card and still win by like 9-3 rounds. Other than that, well, he'll get robbed in the first fight.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. I just like it's funny because I got like I'm looking at it from a very analytical standpoint, and my brain is really telling me Errol Spence Jr. But it's something about it that's just giving me this strange feeling, man. Like something just might happen, bro. Like I don't know. I probably just need to go with my brains and just go the right way, but I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you something about Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a freaking menace, bro.
Mm-hmm. I'm
telling you, he's a lunatic. Shout out to the boxing nerd, bro. He put something up on his video, right? On his channel. Listen, bro, I'm telling you right now, that dude's a lunatic. because he pointed out some good stuff about Spence. You see, you know the quiet ones are always the most dangerous ones. When Spence is quiet, and then he'll blow his top, and then he'll get in the ring. And then, like, just look at his facial expression, look at his eyes, bro. Go check that video out, Mike. I'm telling you, boxing nerd.
All right, I got you, fam.
Check that video out. That video out he got about Spence. I'm thinking, like, he made some good points, but, bro, this dude, it's like you turn on a switch when you get in that ring. It's something different in there. It's going to be a good fight, man. I'm telling you. Because Porter got a lot of fight to fight for. People say he don't got pressure. Let me tell you something. If he beats Spence, he's a sure for the Hall of Fame. He answers all of these questions to the doubters that was underestimated. He got pressure on him. He don't have more pressure than Spence, but he got pressure on him.
Right.
But let me get off, bro. Let's go on the call and get a chance. You know me.
Yes, sir.
Up all night,
for sure. I got you, man. Appreciate your call, my brother. I'll talk to you.
All right.
Yes, sir. 561-935-5186. Call in, speak your piece. Let me know if you feel differently than the last caller, man. But like I said to D. Jefferson, man, analytically, you know, from a boxing standpoint, what my brains is telling me, that's why I didn't do my prediction video yet. I'm gonna wait all the way up until till I get to California, man. I'm basically, my brain is telling me one thing, and then I got this tingle in my spine that something different gonna happen, man. And it's just, I'm not really sure how to go, man. So I'm gonna do some more film study tomorrow. Really look at everything and try to, look at every aspect of this fight before I make my final pick. And you know what? I am more than ready. I'm more than prepared to step out on a limb and be completely wrong if I have to be. I'm completely ready, man. So y'all just stay prepared and stay ready for this one, man. It's gonna be one hell of a fight. He says, I can't wait to get to LA. Mr. Michael NY. I'm not exactly sure if I remember exactly who you are. Let me know in the comment section, did you change your name or something? I think I know who you are, but I'm not sure. But he says, round 7, Kenny start yelling, giving confusing instructions, and that's when the end game for Shawn. Ooh, Joseph Clark. He says, Jim, did you pick Mikey to beat Spence? No, I actually picked Errol Spence to stop him in round 10. I thought it was going to be a 10th round TKO stoppage, and I was so close to being right. Do you know what round Mikey Garcia had to beg to come out? Do you know what round Mikey Garcia had to beg to get off the stool and say, let me finish the fight? Right between round 9 and round 10. And I was so close to being right. But Mikey got off the bench, he got up off the stool, and he kept on pushing despite taking a beating. And so I definitely did pick Errol Spence to win that by 10th round stoppage, and it was very close. In this fight, like I said, I'm gonna do some more film study. South Phoenix Rising says, sound like you picking Porter. I'm not sure yet. When I do my final prediction, I'll definitely let y'all know exactly who I'm picking for sure, like to go on record with. But at the end of the day, man, win, lose, or draw, as many people, came on my channel talking about how easy this fight is gonna be. Even if Shawn Porter makes this a tough fight and goes the distance, I'm still gonna be actually pleased. Either way you look at it, because I've been telling people a long time that this ain't gonna be no wash, and a lot of people got on my case about it. A lot of brothers was disrespectful, and some of them got blocked, and it was just a whole bunch of bull crap. But for the most part, man, it should be one hell of a fight. So 561-935-5186. I know there's somebody right now that want to call in and speak their piece. I know somebody want to call in and give their prediction that ain't never called before. Feel free to do it, man. I'm right here ready to listen to you. But that's weird. But anyway, if y'all just getting in the live stream, man, make sure y'all give this live stream a thumbs up. If you ain't smashed that like button yet, smash that like button. Oh, you said Michael Drayton. Okay, that's who that is.
What changes have you seen in Errol?
Oh, y'all heard me say that? I honestly know. I think that Errol is full of himself. You know, as you know, you're dominant. You are, you know, the guy who's a champion right now. You know, I get how that could happen, but time to calm down, baby.
Anything wrong with feeling yourself, Errol?
That has nothing to do with feeling myself. I've been feeling myself since my career started. You know, I've been saying that, you know, I can beat all the guys, top guys in the division. So, you know, it's not just that I'm arrogant, just now that they're here because I'm at the top now. So, you know, all the arrogant stuff that I don't go out the door. I've been training hard, I'm fully focused, and I'm ready to fight. So, it doesn't matter if you're arrogant or not. I'm training hard, I'm focused, just keep coaching, I'm doing everything possible to ensure that we
Mr. Michael N.Y., formerly known as Michael Drayton, says with that same energy, he lost 2 times. Yeah, but, you know, me personally, man, I'm not the biggest person to sit up here and talk about people having losses like it's the end of the world, man. Win, lose, or draw, man. Some of the greatest fighters in history got losses, bro. Some of the greatest fighters to ever do it, the Muhammad Ali's, the Roy Jones, the Marvin Hagler, and Ray Leonard, and all these fighters got losses. So them 2 losses, that don't mean nothing to me. But anyway, man, Errol Spence Jr. says he's looking for the knockout. He said he's gonna knock him out cold. Errol said, "I'm gonna knock you out cold. Like it's not gonna be a TKO stoppage. It's not gonna be a hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, it's not gonna be a TKO stoppage. He said he gonna knock him out flat on the canvas, put Shawn to sleep. And man, if he do something like that, man, I gotta be honest with you, dog. That'd be hella impressive. That'd be hella impressive, bro. And you know what? I think if he do something like that, it's gonna have to come in the later rounds where Shawn Porter is basically getting tired. He's you know, the fatigue starting to set in or something. But usually Shawn comes in shape. But if Errol Spence can do that, like he said, step back a little bit with that uppercut or something when Shawn's coming in, and he knocks Shawn out cold, that'd be dope. That'd be crazy right there. He says, yeah, but Special K came to his country and took that belt, different energy. Yeah, but it ain't like it ain't really like that fight was it wasn't no complete wash ass whooping, bro. It was a good fight. Like a lot of people be roasting on Shawn so hard to the point where like this man just be getting beat up in the ring or something. Like, dog, this dude's a quality opponent, bro. He's not just some chump that you seen get beat up, stopped, and knocked out. Like I'm having a hard time seeing that, bro. Yeah, it's like I understand we Errol Spence fans and everything. I understand all that, and I understand we want to see him be successful. But when have we seen Shawn Porter get knocked out cold? When have Shawn Porter got knocked out cold by anybody he's faced professionally or in the amateurs? I just haven't seen it, man. It's just like, to me, it's a little bit like distasteful to see how people like, oh, he's getting knocked out cold. Like they don't see that this man bring all kinds of athleticism and pressure. He brings experience. He brings a chin. He's very strong for the division. He ain't just like some little chump. He ain't no Ocampo, or he ain't one of these no Joe Blow. You know what I'm saying? This dude is a legit. He's a legit athlete, bro. He got legit speed. He got decent power. He's not somebody that's just gonna come in here and just get knocked out cold like that. You know? I feel like it's so disrespectful, and even from the brothers too. This is what I'm talking about. even from the brothers, Mikey Garcia got more respect than Shawn Porter, bro. Mikey Garcia, a lightweight coming up from 135 pounds, who only really had a few select fights, one being Adrian Broner, the other one being Snooze Fest Robert Easter Jr. And you saying that Shawn Porter is less likely to win than Mikey Garcia was, bro? Are you serious right now, bro? But are you serious right now? How the hell does Mikey Garcia get a better chance to beat Errol Spence Jr. than a Showtime Shawn Porter, two-time welterweight champion, who just like Errol Spence Jr. started off, right? Just like Errol Spence started off a little bit higher weight class. Started off at what, 154 when they first came in. Shawn Porter is not no little dude just because he's short. This dude is he's a pretty strong athlete. And it be these type of Errol Spence fans to me that really just turns me off about this whole situation. $215. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Get 'em, Mike? This is Kwame again, calling from Philly. I called in about 2 nights ago, man.
You said your name is what from Philly?
Yeah, my name is Kwame.
Kwame. What's going on, brother?
Philly. I'm from New York.
Yes,
so
sir.
Nothing much, man. First thing I want to say, I just started listening to your live maybe about 5 minutes ago. And first thing I want to say is I commend you for, what you do, how you go out there and support the fighters, cover fights, and really just put blood, sweat, and tears into what you're doing, man. So anyone who's being disrespectful that you have to block, man, that's on them, man. That's just because they ain't got really nothing going on. So, I truly support what you do, man, because you're a consistent brother that go out there and really cover the fights, and it's really about you really just love the sport of boxing. So I definitely respect what you do, man. But I'm listening to what you're saying. You have a lot of valid points, especially we're talking about how Mikey Garcia got more props for fighting Errol or more of a chance or more respect. But you have to remember, Mikey Garcia was rated a pound-for-pound fighter, and he had 39 fights. He had no losses. And even with guys who were good fighters, like even Robert Easter, who had all that reach and stuff, Mikey showed real skill, and range didn't bother him, all these things. He exploited these guys. So, you could really only go off, what the last performances look like. And I think most people at this point in time are looking at Shawn Porter's last fight against Ugas. And I think the reality is if Shawn Porter in his last performance was fighting Errol Spence, if Ugas was Errol Spence, he would have got knocked out. Everything he tried to do got negated. He was fighting off his back foot. He took a lot of punishment. This was actually a fight where it was a clean fight where he wasn't headbutting and stuff. And both his eyes was messed up. He had black and blue marks, busted lips, all kind of stuff. So, I could really understand why people are expecting a knockout. And I think also Shawn Porter's not a fresh fighter. He's not. He's been in wars. He's been in wars. And he's never been a pound-for-pound guy. He's just been a very rough and tough fighter. So I can understand people saying it's going to be a competitive fight because he has experience, he's physical, he's definitely in great shape, he's focused, and he has will. But I think when people look at the matchup in terms of skill, the fact that he already lost to Kell Brook, how Kell Brook beat him, he wasn't able to impose his game plan. Ugas also, when he tried to get rough, he couldn't impose his game plan. I just feel like Errol Spence is just way more of a complete fighter, and I just think he has something to prove this fight. I think Errol has a chip on his shoulder for not getting that knockout, and I think he wants to go and exploit a welterweight, and it's a unifying fight. So I think he's really worked up for it.
Right. No, I completely understand what you're saying, bro. You're making some sense there. Some of the things you said though, really, could go either way. Like for instance, we talking about, the fact that Shawn Porter lost to Kell Brook. Okay, obviously we know Errol Spence, beat Kell Brook. Okay, but a lot of times that goes into the triangle theory situation where you saying this guy beat this guy, so that must mean this guy beats this guy. Well, that's not always necessarily the case. And we must remember as well that when Shawn Porter fought Kell Brook, okay, this was before Kell Brook had gotten knocked out. Okay, Errol Spence Jr. beat a Kell Brook coming off of a knockout loss. Shawn Porter he lost to a very close fight to a Kell Brook who was looked at as the boogeyman before Errol Spence was. So we have to remember these things. When Shawn Porter, in both of his losses, you have to admit they were close losses. Obviously, Kell Brook, his win was a little more definitive than his loss to Keith Thurman, because I thought Keith Thurman should have best been a draw. So
I could agree with that.
And when it comes down to Mikey Garcia being a pound for pound fighter, he was a pound for pound fighter at 135 pounds. You move up 2 weight classes to welterweight, where you're a much smaller guy, and you still have a better chance than the guy who was once a champion at welterweight and who is now a champion again at welterweight. So it just confuses me. But go ahead, I'm listening to you, bro.
Okay, all right. So I'll address both of your points. First one about Kell Brook, and then what you said about Shawn Porter being a 2-time champ. So first thing, I understand what you mean with the triangle theory, but we have to take a look at how Errol Spence won the fight against Kell Brook. We have to look at, what transpired in the fight and how the fight went. So first thing is, I understand that people are going to say, there's a theory that, his orbital bone was broke and the other side was weak. Well, first thing is, that's not accurate, because when it wasn't that his skull was fractured, his orbital bone was broke, and they replaced that orbital bone with a steel plate. So there was a piece of steel they put in there, and they replaced that. So it's not like they was fractured to the skull, and then Errol hit the other side, and then the same orbital bone broke. I think there's 2 things that come into play. One thing is that Kell Brook didn't have really good defense. And I think the other thing that goes into play is that maybe his bone structure is just not the strongest, and he finally fought some guys who could really punch, because he was fighting small guys. He wasn't really fighting the best of competition. And then Shawn Porter, out of all 147-pound fighters at that time, that was the top guys when Shawn Porter was fresh, probably had the least amount of skills. He was the most physical, but he had the least amount of skills. And Kell Brook was able to outskill him, and then when Shawn Porter decided to get rough, he held him. So I think, that played a major factor, and he did beat him easier than Keith Thurman. Now, when you take a look at when Errol Spence beat Kell Brook, because I noticed that when people debate about this, they try to play both sides of the field. First, they want to say that Kell Brook was beating Errol Spence's ass at the beginning of the fight, but then they want to say he was damaged goods. When I take a look at what Kell Brook was doing at Errol Spence in the beginning of the fight, it wasn't that he was beating Errol Spence's ass, it was that he was countering Errol Spence's jab, which is Errol Spence, that is what puts him into a rhythm, is that jab. Errol Spence would throw a jab, Kell Brook would then counter over his jab. Errol Spence would get hit with it at first, then he was trying to rock back, and then he realized that he had to throw his jab, and then he had to block because of how it was getting countered. And a lot of people didn't give Errol Spence credit for making adjustments in that fight. They just said, he just mauled through him, but that's not. It was cerebral what he did. The second thing I say is that when that fight transpired, and I see how sharp Kell Brook was, how great he looked, and everything, I don't see Shawn Porter beating that same damaged, quote-unquote damaged Kell Brook the night that he fought Errol Spence. I think that Kell Brook would have beat the same Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter doesn't have bone-breaking power, because a lot of people also leave out the fact that Kell Brook had broken ribs. So we can't just say that his face was damaged, and then because his face was damaged, that damaged his ribs too. He fought 2 strong punchers. So I won't say that the Triple G fight meant nothing, But let's be honest, the Triple G fight, Triple G is one of the strongest, most devastating punchers, and Kell Brook never went down in the fight. He was about to be in trouble when they threw the towel in. Like, it wasn't like he took such a hellacious beating and he was knocked out and he was damaged and then he went to the next fight. Dominic Ingle basically knew that he was going to save that guy before he got supremely punished. And he threw the towel in. And Kell Brook, I saw there was a lot of heart and a lot of dog in Kell Brook because he wanted to continue fighting, but they were trying to save Kell Brook for the rest of his career, knowing that he wasn't going to stay at middleweight. So when we just say, oh, you know, it was such a, you know, he was just a damaged and beaten fighter, that's not true. I think what plays the biggest major factor in the biggest handicap that Kell Brook had fighting Errol Spence was the weight cut and dropping all of that muscle coming down. Because by the time you looked at the 5th, 6th round, even the 6th to 7th round, you heard the announcer saying that Kell Brook was slowing down. And once he started to slow down and Errol Spence started digging into the body and landing more punches, he then beat Kell Brook up and then broke his eye socket and his ribs because he slowed down. Now, if Kell Brook was still a fresh fighter and his stamina would have held up more, then quite possibly he could have won on the scorecards. But it wasn't just because he was just so beat down, and that's why he lost. He most
definitely probably would have won that fight had it went the distance. But the point that I'm making, bro, is I hear all the arguments that you're saying. I agree with a lot of the arguments you're making. These are a lot of arguments that I've actually used myself when defending Errol Spence. So I'm not a stranger to any of the arguments that you're making. The only point that I'm making is, first, I never really talked about his eye being broken. That wasn't really my argument. I said he came off of a knockout loss at 160 pounds and then had to squeeze back down. Okay, I understand.
Can we really call it a knockout? But can we really call it a knockout loss? He never got knocked down in that fight. He was never out on his feet. We go look at this. Just look at the pure unadulterated tape. When he got into trouble, his corner threw the towel in. So it is technically a TKO because it was stopped.
Right. Well, technical
but is it
what?
Really a knockout loss?
Yes. Technical what? Technical knockout. I'm not saying that he got put to sleep, but what I'm saying is, I don't know about you, but I like my eyes. Okay, that's what I used to see.
Of course.
So if I'm coming off of a fight where I just almost lost my eyesight in one of my eyes, do you think I'm going to be the same fighter I was before that, anytime after that? He came right back down. He sucked down all that weight, to come back down to fight against a very seasoned young champion and was doing extremely well for the first half of that fight. So, yeah, I'm not basically taking away anything that Errol Spence did in that fight. The only thing I'm saying is that when we keep using the Kell Brook situation, and which is understandable because they both have a common opponent, but what I'm saying is when we use that triangle theory saying, well, Errol beat him when Shawn lost to him, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's zero chance that Shawn could probably beat Errol. That's the only thing I'm saying is we keep trying to use the triangle theory and then we keep disrespecting a very seasoned two-time welterweight champion by saying that Mikey Garcia has a better chance of beating Errol Spence than the two-time welterweight champion who's very, very athletic, explosive, and has way more athleticism and probably punching power and foot speed than a Mikey Garcia. That's the argument that I'm making.
I don't think Shawn Porter has better punching power than Mikey Garcia, to be honest. He don't drop nobody. Let's really take a look at his body of work when it comes to punching power. Like, who has he really devastated with punching power? We can't even say Berto because he headbutted Berto to death, and that fight was so dirty that he had to put his headband over his own eyes that he busted open. The only person he really dominated with punching power was Paulie, because Paulie was a small guy who couldn't keep off of him. Now, when you take a look at Mikey Garcia, and I'm gonna bring up what you brought up about Mikey Garcia, because a lot of guys like to say he was a pound-for-pound fighter at 135 pounds. Mikey Garcia got that pound-for-pound. He was a pound-for-pound fighter, but the reason why people were so high on him was because people like to leave out he went to 140 and he won a belt at 140. Right. And then they like to leave out that the same guy who just retired Lamont Peterson, he's dominated that fight and he dropped him in the fight. That, like, people like to leave that out. So there was a momentum that Mikey Garcia had going from all those weight classes all the way up to 140 and collecting belts. So the probability, or statistically, of him having a better chance than Shawn Porter is realistic, especially the fact that he's a way more skilled boxer. He's way more defensively responsible than Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter's defense, like if you take a look at the Ugas fight, Shawn Porter's defense on a scale of 1 to 10 is probably like a 6. The reason why Shawn Porter, people don't see as many holes in Shawn Porter's defense is because if he's smothering you and all that distance, there's no range for you to get off. That's his defense. But when you watch him fight somebody like even a Danny Garcia, who just counter punches in their fight, who landed the more clean and effective blows in that fight? Danny Garcia did. So there's a reason why people are saying that he doesn't have as much of a chance, because you have one guy who is not active. Even when he's wildly aggressive, it closes the distance. He smothers his own work. He's not accurate. When he fights from a distance and he's trying to box, that's kind of like a new thing, and he doesn't even have that down pat, and his defense really sucks when he's trying to box and dance around. And then you have him fighting the most complete fighter he's ever fought. So it makes sense to me, why people see him as more of an underdog than Mikey Garcia, because he's not the fighter Mikey Garcia is. He just makes up for it with his size and his physicality. And to be quite honest, the only chance Shawn Porter would have, even if he would have fought a Mikey Garcia at 147, is his Mola style, because he couldn't fight Mikey Garcia the same way he fought Ugas. He would lose the fight. If he tried to just box Mikey Garcia the way he was shuffling his feet and stuff and doing all that with Ugas, he would lose the fight. That's just the truth. He would have to maul and impose his will and his size on Mikey Garcia. And that's at 147 he would have to do that. And we just talked about unadulterated skill. So it makes sense that people are saying what they're saying in terms of him having less of a chance. It's just based off his attributes, Now, I could agree with the fact that you say you don't just see Shawn Porter getting knocked out, and because we haven't seen that happen, so that makes sense, and he has experience. But I just feel like it's the one thing that people aren't taking into consideration in this fight is timing. It's like the time that this fight is happening. This fight with Errol Spence and Shawn Porter is not happening when Shawn Porter got in the ring with Keith Thurman years ago. He's not fighting that guy. He's not fighting the guy that fought Devin Alexander either.
Man, you about to go about 20 minutes, man. You ain't let nobody else call. I'm trying to get.
My bad. I mean, we could have a good discussion, man.
No, you good, man. I'm trying to make sure you get.
I mean, that's just what I see.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure you get, all the points out that you want to get. I'm trying to give you the floor, but I don't want to be rude to everybody else.
Okay, no, that's fine.
You make some very, very valid points, man, and I really appreciate your call. I will be here probably most likely tomorrow too. I don't leave out till what day I leave out? Thursday. So yeah, I'm gonna be going live, man. Feel free to come back on the show, call back in, and voice your opinion. I just don't.
Yeah, well, I say good luck to you, and I support you getting you going out there covering the fight, spending your own money to give the public a platform, and you very respectable, very cordial, man. So I really support you, man.
All right, cool, man. Hey, appreciate your call, man. Much love, peace, and blessings to you, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, one hell of a call, man. Hell of a call. Great call. Absolutely, absolutely. And the good thing about it is that, most of the points that the brother just made were, all points that I've heard before, that I understand and I partially agree with, but so, some of the points that get made, and the next caller, if you want to call in, 561-935-5186, the majority of, people's explanations when it comes down to Shawn Porter is my issue is not with any of the points that they make about Errol Spence. When it comes down to what Spence did and the fact that Spence Jr. definitely showed he has a chin versus Kell Brook. I saw the fight. I saw him stepping on the gas and pressing forward. He would not be denied. He was seriously determined to win that belt. So he deserves all the credit in the world. But the only part I'm making is that we look at the Kell Brook issue, you know, with the fact that Shawn Porter lost, and that means Errol won. So, I mean, see, now we start getting back into triangle theories, and I don't really like doing all that. You know, I don't really like to get into the triangle theory thing, because that's not how we cover boxing. Styles make fights. Kell Brook fought Errol Spence Jr. in a different way than he fought Shawn Porter. And I guarantee you Errol Spence is going to fight Shawn Porter in a much different way than he fought against Kell Brook and Mikey Garcia. So the styles make fights. And, you know, one of the things I'm saying is that, you know, I'm personally not in a position to say Mikey Garcia will beat Shawn Porter. Like, I'm not willing to say that a guy from a much smaller weight class is going to come up here and beat any welterweight champion. I don't think I don't think he beats Manny Pacquiao. He definitely already lost to Errol Spence, and I think if they fight again, most definitely Errol Spence is going to knock him out. And also, with that being said, too, is that I don't think he beats Shawn Porter. I don't think he would have beat, what's the guy's name? Keith Thurman. I don't think he beats Ugas. I don't think he beats Figueroa. None of these guys. 804, go ahead and do your thing.
What up, Mark?
Hey, what up, D?
Again, bro. I just wanted to respond to that last caller real quick.
Go ahead. The floor is yours, brother.
The last caller, I'm pretty sure he mentioned up there. You think about this, my man, when you say that Mikey Garcia will go in there and, you know, Shawn Porter doesn't have as much chance as Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia did not win one round. And he survived, and you know, people discredit Mikey for not allowing Spence to stop him, not just Spence not stopping him. But Mikey didn't win one round. So if you think that Shawn Porter is not going to win one round, bro, you can't be serious. That's what you got to think about. Mikey did not win one round. And that should tell you something. And Shawn Porter barely made weight against you guys, so he's not a small guy. Mikey Garcia has to pack hard. And even admittedly say he put on just a little too much because it slowed him down. This is Shawn Porter, he got to cut weight, bro. That's what you got to think about. All right, Mike.
Yo, yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, so, you know, I don't really, like, I never really, really get into it too much when it comes down to the Errol Spence talk, because like I said before, man, I'm a big Errol Spence supporter, and a lot of the points that a lot of people make, whenever, let's just say for instance, whenever I show Shawn Porter some love, right? Whenever I talk about his attributes and what Shawn does well that I feel he does well, you know, everybody likes to automatically equate that to I need to come and I need to yell everything about Errol Spence that, you know, that's positive in how to discredit Shawn. It's like, for me personally, I'm not necessarily saying that Shawn Porter just beats Errol Spence. I'm not saying that Errol Spence is not good at certain things, and I'm not doing all that. The only thing I'm saying is that a two-time welterweight world champion with serious aggression, okay, good foot speed, good hand speed, somebody that's a proven dog, somebody that's going to bring their lunch pail, they're going to come, the blue-collar style worker, and they're going to work for 12 rounds. A lot of people, you know, obviously get so caught up in boxing skills. And this is the same problem I have, too, with a lot of people in the heavyweight division, okay? They'll sit up there all day long and talk about how much Deontay Wilder lacks boxing skill. And I understand this doesn't equate, because obviously Deontay Wilder is the heavyweight champion in the world, the bronze bomber. And he knocks out pretty much everybody he come across. So obviously that's not Shawn Porter. But the only thing that I'm saying is that when we get so caught up in this guy got boxing skill, and this guy got boxing skill, and this guy's so fundamentally sound, and there's sweet science, and it looks so pretty. I mean, not all the time is that the only attribute in the sport of boxing. There's so much more stuff that goes into it. You know, there's pressure, there's the pressure factor, there's the power factor, There's the speed factor. There's so many different factors that you can look at. And like I said before, I believe Errol Spence has hand speed to really fight with anybody. You know, he has a hell of a hand speed. Just because his feet doesn't move so fast doesn't mean that he don't let his hands go from a nice sturdy base. You know what I'm saying? So, but sometimes we get caught up in that a little bit too much, man. And I don't necessarily agree with that 100%. So that's all I'm saying. 561-935-5186. Feel free to call in, speak your piece, change my mind, whatever you got to say. Mr. De Niro says D about to use up all his unlimited minutes. D Jefferson, man, you out here on the prepaid phone, man. Come on, man. It's 2019, baby. all jokes, man. Melvin Stevens, I see. He says Devin Haney a major problem for all, no matter the weight. Yeah, Devin Haney is definitely gonna be a problem. He got a good frame. Devin Haney got a good frame to really go up in weight and still be effective throughout his career. So that's pretty dope. That's one of my favorites right there. One of my favorite young bucks. South Phoenix Rising said Mikey didn't win one round because he was trying to survive. We get that. Porter will let his hands go. Mikey is actually taller than Porter. No, Mikey is not taller than Porter, actually. He's like an inch shorter. But they're about the same height, but he's like probably an inch shorter. I think BoxRec got, let me see. Let's see what BoxRec got him as. I think they might got him at the same height on here. But let's look into it for sure. 5'7". And I think they got Mikey at 5'7" too. So I think they're the same height. And I've also seen, no, they got Mikey at 5'6". So he's an inch taller one way or another. If you look at other areas, they say that Mikey Garcia is 5'7", and you see some places that say Shawn is 5'8". So they're usually about an inch apart, but that's besides the point. My thing too is this, okay? I don't never hear anybody talking about how Errol Spence, and I hear a lot of people say, oh, the pressure doesn't matter. The pressure doesn't matter. The pressure is not going to work. Shawn Porter's pressure is not going to work. It's ineffective aggression. It's not going to work. And I don't know if I'm ready to agree with that, man, because I feel like pressure bursts pipes, man. And y'all forget, man, when Shawn Porter fought against Keith Thurman landed some good shots, but y'all got to remember, Shawn Porter landed some hella shots too, bro. It's like, damn, I just can't understand how people can't see some of the positive things that Shawn Porter do. It just baffles me. It's like maybe I'm just like blind to some shit and I can't freaking see what's going on in the square circle. It's just like I can't understand it, bro. But when I'm watching Shawn Porter fight, I see somebody that's going to bring the pressure, and not even if he's not landing all the punches, that pressure alone makes certain fighters change what they're trying to do. It makes certain fighters change. The only reason why I think Keith Thurman got up out of there without that fight being a draw or losing that fight is that Keith Thurman used good lateral movement in that fight. And he engaged when he needed to engage. But other than that, Shawn Porter was keeping the pressure on him. He was applying pressure. He was landing body shots. He was landing all types of stuff. So, in my personal opinion, I just feel like a lot of people, man, they want Errol Spence to win for all the right reasons. You know, I get it. I like Errol Spence. I want him to continue to be undefeated. I want him to conquer the division. I want all this stuff to happen. But when I'm looking at a fight and I'm analyzing a fight with my eyes, bro, I can't act like I don't see that Shawn Porter's pressure puts pressure on people. $602, where you calling from? What's your name?
Your boy South Phoenix Rising, my man. How you doing?
Hey, yeah, you back again, coming to bring some of that Errol Spence smoke, bro. I'm listening. Go ahead, do your thing. The floor is yours.
And the funny part about it is, man, I'm a fan of both guys. Actually, real talk, I'm just a fan of boxing. And ultimately, I don't want you to think I'm some Errol Spence fanboy, because that's not what it is. Hey, man, I'm just looking at it, like you like to always say, from an analytical standpoint. Let's go back to a point you made a few seconds ago, man, about the whole pressure fighting situation, right? You ask anybody in the business, I don't care if it's Teddy Atlas, I don't care if it's a couple of the Mayweathers actually commented about the pressure fight, bro. Errol Spence is actually a better pressure fighter than Shawn Porter. So if Shawn Porter is going to pressure Earl, that's to Earl's advantage. And now Earl don't have to try to come and find him out. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see a lot more of the Shawn Porter that you saw against Ugas and Danny Garcia, where he was trying to use, his legs and, those little football moves that have nothing to do with boxing that he does in the ring. He's going to do a lot more than he is not going to stand toe-to-toe with Earl in box. He's also not going to back Earl up. I'm telling you, if you go back and watch the Ugas fight, or even if you go back and watch the Kell Brooks fight, anybody that stands their ground with Porter, and particularly when they go to the body, he don't really like that.
Hey, let me ask you this, though.
He starts to back off, and that's when he tries to fight.
Now, I know Errol Spence Jr. beat Mikey Garcia every single round of that fight. It was a 12-round shutout. But did you or did you not see certain parts of those rounds where Mikey Garcia was backing Errol Spence up with certain punches?
I saw parts of that round where Earl let Mikey Garcia back him up because Earl was trying to bait him into a counter. Mikey, let's be real. Let's break it down now. Mikey Garcia is a counter puncher. So anytime Earl saw him trying to get aggressive because he knew there were going to be limited opportunities that Mikey was actually going to let his hands go, he let Mikey get off. He actually did it in the Kell Brooks fight. Like round 2, he walked around the majority of it, didn't even throw a punch. He wanted to let the guy get off, give him counter punching opportunity. That's what you saw. In the 4th, 5th, 6th round, where Earl was like, forget it, I'm tired of kind of chasing this guy. He ain't fighting. He just put his foot on the gas and step forward and chase.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like in the Kell Brooks fight, I felt like a lot of that was just Kell Brooks counter punching. Kell Brooks was punching, he was jabbing with Spence. Every time Spence throw a jab, he'll jab Spence. But see, do you think that Errol Spence at any point in this fight is just gonna let Shawn Porter be aggressive?
Yes, I do. Because I honestly think that Earl, let's be real, and you talked about this on the couple of streams before. Why? Because when Shawn Porter lets his hands go, bro, he leaves himself open. Shawn Porter is not that responsible defensively. Let's be real. So when Shawn Porter gets into those where he likes to throw those 2, 3, 4 punch combinations, bro, that naked right hand counter or that shot to the body gonna beat him. Matter of fact, he's gonna put himself in position for you to land that punch. That's how Keith Thurman was able to hand him out. That's how Danny Garcia actually got back in the fight. Every time Shawn was going through those flurries, at the end of those flurries, what you see? You saw Danny land a 1, 2, or 3, bro.
Oh, my bad, bro. I got a message, my bad. Yeah, but you right, man. You right. I feel what you're saying, my brother. You in there.
Man, and like I said, man, ultimately, the bottom line is this. I think that a lot of people are actually going for Porter to, like, Porter's storyline. Look, man, it is beautiful. I understand the whole aspect of it.
He said it's beautiful.
I understand the dynamic with him and his pop. Man, that's actually cool. That is a great thing. A lot of guys out there who ain't got that. That's something to be respected. Hey, my man, they ain't got shit to do with boxing. Hey, Daddy, Kenny Porter can't hop in that ring and they can double team her. They gonna help.
Hey, he said he got to fight for himself, huh?
Hey, get that ass, man.
Hey, man, you got a point, man, for sure.
But hey, no doubt, man. Like I say, good luck to you, bro. Hope you have safe traveling, great. If you're on tomorrow, I'll probably check it out for sure again. I want to support the channel, and man, hey. Let's get it. But again, Errol Spence 9 with a liver shot.
Yes, sir. Hey, keep bringing that stuff, man. Appreciate that, bro. Much love to you, man. And we shall see. Hey, man, that's my brother right there. South Phoenix be coming through talking that Errol Spence work. Let me see. Spence only shows what he needs to show in the fight. Remember, he won't show it if it doesn't need to. He keeps everything guessing. Yeah, he does a good job of it too, I tell you that. But for some reason, before the Mikey Garcia fight, a lot of people, for some reason didn't believe Errol Spence had boxing skills. And I don't know why that was. I was able to see a lot of boxing skills in a lot of other fights. And I mean, I understand, and I also agree to the point where you kind of want to see how he looks versus different opposition. You know what I'm saying? So that's understandable, especially like, I think this fight versus Porter is going to give him a different look than we haven't seen before. He's going to give him some different looks, just like Mikey Garcia was supposed to be a superior boxer. He passed that test with flying colors. So Errol Spence do have a tendency to hide certain things in his game where he only does what he has to do. So, that's why it's exciting. That's why I'm ready to see in this fight whether or not he's going to say, you know what? I'm just much better than Shawn Porter. His aggression ain't going to matter. all that stuff not gonna matter, and I'm just gonna win with flying colors. And he believes he can do that, man. So I'm just ready to see it. You know, so I just personally, you know, I just believe Shawn Porter is a little bit better than what he's getting credit for. That's pretty much my whole point that I be making. Excuse me. My whole point that I be making. I just believe he's just a little bit better than what he's getting credit for. And in the sport of boxing, yes, I know you have to be a good boxer, but I think there's a whole lot of other attributes that go into it. But I know I had a few missed calls. I had a 716 and a 602, man. If you want to call back in and speak your piece, the lines is open. But yeah, man, it's fight week, man. It's fight week, and I cannot be more excited. Can't be more excited, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through the stream. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up for this good Errol Spence and Shawn Porter talk. Keeping everything interesting, man. This is fun. Boy, it's freaking fight week, man. Damn, it's fight week. What De Niro talking about? He says, and Spence smokes bud. I smoke weed. What? This guy. Man, any more callers, man? Any more callers? Any more people want to speak their piece, man? We can keep talking this Spence talk, man. We can keep talking this talk. I just can't wait. I can't wait for this fight to see how it's gonna break down, man. This is why I love the sport of boxing, because you know you just never know how it's gonna break down until fight night. But the homie Phoenix Rising, he makes a lot of valid points though. I'm not even gonna sit up here and say, oh, that's what's going on. Yeah, he definitely makes a lot of valid points what he's talking about. But the only thing is just I'm ready to see it. I think, you know, if Errol Spence shows me in this fight versus Shawn Porter that Shawn Porter's aggression and his constant work rate, if he shows me in this fight that it doesn't bother him at all, then that's gonna show me even more. You know, that's gonna show me even more. But let's see who's calling in. 612, 612. What's going on?
From Minneapolis.
What's your name, brother?
Hutch.
Hutch? Oh, what's going on, man? Go ahead and do your thing, bro.
Hey, man, I just don't feel like Shawn Porter is really gonna be. I don't feel like Shawn Porter is really gonna be able to hang with Spence, man. I just think that body attack, equipped with his boxing IQ, is just gonna be too much for Shawn Porter. I was watching Shawn Porter's Sway interview, and they had a guy on there who was just like hyping Shawn Porter up so much that like you would think that he was really gonna come in and win the fight, but I just think that Spence is just too much for Porter. That's what I think. I just don't think that Porter is gonna be able to hang with Spence.
Right. So you think he can't hang with him because Spence is he's just better all the way around, boxing skills, strength? Like why do you see Spence dominate so much?
I see Spence dominating the fight because his body attack is just, I mean, like, dude, his fundamentals first and foremost, and then his body attack equipped with his boxing IQ. I just don't see, like, Porter's a good brawler, he's a good fighter, but I mean, we've seen him in the big fights, and he hasn't really come through in any of the big fights that he's had, except for with Devin Garcia. I mean, he lost to Kell Brook, who was bullying him around, and then Spence went and bullied Kell Brook around. So if you think about it, how is Porter going to be able to bully Spence? And that, I hate to do the triangle thing, but like if Kell Brook couldn't even bully Spence, how is Shawn Porter going to be able to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you definitely got a good point there, man. You ain't got no argument for me in that. I can understand what you mean. For sure. So
yeah, man. I mean, I just wanted to call in because, you know, I've been watching your show for a long time. So, you know, I just wanted to call in and speak my piece on it. I've been a Spence fan since right about the Kell Brooks fight.
Okay.
So I used to watch boxing with my dad all the time, and you know, I kind of fell off on the sport, but came back into it about the time Spence was fighting Kell Brooks. So I've been a Spence fan. I might not even be able to watch this fight because I'm gonna be in New Orleans at the time. So I'm gonna try to find a bar or something.
Yeah, hey, they planned it at AMC theaters. If you can slip it to a movie theater, you can check it out too, man. So.
Oh yeah, I'm most likely to do that, bro. But yeah, man, hey man, you make good videos, bro. I like the content. You know, keep doing your thing, man. You're doing great.
Hey, much love to you, man. Appreciate you for calling in. Much love, peace, and blessings to you and your family, bro.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you for accepting the call. Have a good night.
Yep. So, Errol Spence, man, he's absolutely a good fighter to be a fan of. That's for sure. Eight three two. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
De Niro, what's up, bro?
Oh shit.
I had been taking care of a few other things right now, so I couldn't call right away.
Nah, man, it's all
good. We're gonna talk about these little bitty arms Shawn Porter be swinging. The dude reach ain't out there, man. He can jumping at that Ugas. I went back and watched that Ugas fight. The way he was jumping at Ugas, boy, I might get knocked out.
He might get his ass knocked out.
He gonna jump right into one of them left hooks, man. I'm kind of scared for him the more I watch this fight. Boy, this boy Spence, dog, you hear me?
I hear you, man.
Away from you, boy. I ain't trying to discredit him. I love him as a black man, and I want to tell you, stop jumping and swinging, man. Do not jump and swing at Errol.
Hey, let me ask you this though. That another caller made a point where, you know, Errol Spence, his pressure and the way he's fighting is gonna put so much pressure. Do you see Shawn Porter reverting back to the outside style in this fight at all?
He gonna have to. If he gonna last 12 rounds, he gonna have to do outside fight and be faking like they playing football, hot ball in the football field or something, you know. He gonna have to do some running. He gonna have to do some running to survive, man. And especially good at cutting that ring off. He ain't gonna be able to run too much. Yeah, look at the way Ugas knocking him up.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna fight too much like Ugas though. Like how when he fought Ugas, I think it's gonna be a little bit more solid than that.
And it almost backfired on him. He tried to learn how to box in one fight, but almost backfired. You better go back to it. You know, I ain't got nothing against your boy Mike. I ain't got nothing against it. He can't win this fight, man. He ain't gonna win this fight. Ain't nothing he can do. I just give him props for being the first one to take the ass.
Oh man, yes sir.
Yeah, man.
It is what it is, though, man.
It is what it is. Now, y'all, I'm just, it's just happy we finally getting a fight that we want, man. Them boys been running and ducking so long in boxing, man. Boxing is taking a big hit for all these ducking. And I'm personally getting tired of it. So everybody running from everybody.
How long
I hope. Go ahead.
I was going to say, how long do you think it'll be till we get the Crawford fight, man? You see that fight coming up anytime next year?
Man, you know what, man? They need to just put a boxing ring in the middle of the street. Let them boys meet in the middle of the street. Just, everybody on the wrong side of the street, just meet in the middle of the street. Somewhere, because I'm tired of hearing about the wrong side of the street. I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't want to see that fight next. He said he's gonna fight that man. He ain't gonna get that Manic fight because Manic gonna take that belt, go to the Philippines, and he gonna send out a tweet and then it's gonna say he's retiring. He don't want to see Spence. Man. You see, he was there with that fight when he got in the ring with her. When he got in the ring with her, it was like, and they was like, you gonna make that fight happen? I guess that was like the Man, hell no. It was like, yeah, I guess. What you mean, yeah, you guess? He was really saying hell to the no.
So De Niro, if you think, like we said, Mikey Garcia survived 12 rounds, right? And he was kind of on a retreat, trying to survive. Do you think that at some point in this fight, if Shawn Porter gets hurt and he starts moving around the ring to survive, you don't think Shawn Porter can make it out of 12 rounds when Mikey Garcia did?
I don't see if Spence don't knock him out, and I'm not gonna, and his daddy ain't gonna sit there and let him take that punishment like that. His daddy ain't. He ain't got no shot on winning. Ain't no sense on letting this dude hurt you for. He gonna step up and be a dad, do the right thing and be a daddy. So that's power.
Oh man, what's your prediction again, bro?
2 KO and 7.
7. Wow. Okay. Hey, you might be right, man. You might be right.
I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. I first said within 5, but I'm gonna say 7.
All right, man. Hey,
just because I don't want to upset nobody,
Yeah, no, that's all good, man. Do your thing, man. But I ain't gonna be on here much longer. I forgot I got an appointment in the morning, and it's getting closer to fight week now, so I'm still tying together all these loose ends, and I got an appointment in the morning, man. So hey, appreciate your call, bro. I'll be back on tomorrow.
Up, man. Salute to you. Appreciate all your help and everything you doing with helping me out too.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Man, have fun out there in LA. I wish I could go with y'all, but maybe the next one we'll meet up there.
Yeah, so we need to get out. We need to get out to that Charlo fight. That's what we need to do. Charlo and Harrison too.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, for sure, fam.
We're gonna try to make too.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, shoot, man. I'm gonna holler at you. I'll be listening in the chat.
All right, for sure. He said, Jim, you said pressure, but are you speaking of the lines of aggravating and not making it difficult for Spence to flow, like holding him or making the fight awkward? Yeah, pretty much everything, Let me see if I can shut these phone lines down, though, because I'm about to get up off here in just a second. Yeah, but I think Shawn Porter's pressure, the way he fight, I don't know if maybe he's not the same type of fighter he used to be, but I like what I saw versus Keith Thurman. If he can bring any of that kind of pressure, versus not necessarily the Andre Berto fight, because some people had a big problem with that, but if he can bring in that Keith Thurman type of pressure to where he's just relentless and bringing it all fight, I think that's how he'll have a chance. But it's very well possible that I could just be wrong, and Errol Spence can just be too much because he is the truth, and he just get in here and make it look easy and knock him out. Man, I would be so impressed. So, but we're gonna be back tomorrow, man. We talking Errol Spence and Shawn Porter all week long. We talking after the fight all next week. So it's fight week. I'm hella excited, and I'm gonna try to drop some videos tomorrow and a live stream tomorrow. So if everything works out right, man. So really appreciate everybody for coming through the live stream. I know y'all probably want me to keep going longer and longer and take some more calls, but I forgot I got an appointment in the morning. I got like an hour-and-a-half drive to go. So I got to get in there and try to get some rest, man. So really appreciate everybody that came through. If you haven't yet smashed the like button yet, hit that like button. Much love, peace, and blessings to everybody that called in the show. Everybody that showed their cojones and called in and wasn't scared. Or you say cojones, I think that's what you say. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got for this one, man. So everybody that called in, much love, peace, and blessings. And I'll holler at y'all like last year.